They're gonna be like, where are they?
It's St. Patrick's Day.
No, I didn't even have a drink today.
Your dinner looked good.
No, thank you. I couldn't have my Irish soda bread. It was too hot because I ended up baking it late because I was too busy.
So they-
Yeah, right, let's see where we're at. Mhm.
Well, we're at 60, so that's good.
Oh,
So
there you go.
I
So,
know. So hey, good evening, everyone. It is Friday night, and we are doing our Friday night update. And since we're already at 75, that means you guys are waiting for us. I guess we should be casually late all the time. So
early
we're gonna
time.
we'll start with a couple of updates. So you'll have, for those of you that were waiting for your checks to be deposited, you should be happy because our accountant got a stack that was like this high that the post office in Florida was holding for some reason. And when he sent us that picture, we were like, holy cow. But so all of that was deposited all in the same day. And so you should be noticing that those should be deposited. I am hoping that that's the last time they do that. We did make a complaint to the postmaster in Venice, Florida. So we're hoping that that doesn't happen again. Hopefully, who knows, hopefully they do the right thing. Because we kept joking, it must be walking from Florida to Georgia on a burro, walking backwards.
Oh yeah, well, it switched to a palmetto bug.
Hey, don't pick on Florida things.
So
Just a couple of people have they're new to doing things with Zelle. And so they get nervous when they send money if we got it. And I'm not exactly the queen of technology with this stuff, but I can tell you that if your bank says it was sent and we got it. If something went wrong, it'll go back to your bank. So if you don't get it back within like a couple of minutes, we got it.
Also, you can normally I see the Zelle. I see the PayPal, and I see the Venmo. So right. So if you guys usually they hit me up, and Carol, you can coordinate with me just like I ask you about the checks, and just shoot me an email and ask me if I see the Zelle or PayPal or Venmo or whatever.
Yeah, I can see that also, but I'm just saying people have been sending emails because they're concerned. I sent a Zelle, and it just takes like 2 minutes to go from your bank to our bank. And if it doesn't bounce back to you, it went through and we got it.
So that said, moving on to our homework assignment from yesterday and the day before, today and the day before. So we had asked you to start making phone calls. And so we also recognize that when the first time we did this, we only had about 4,000 or 5,000 people on our Facebook page. And today we have well over 21,000 people on our Facebook page. So let's kind of give you a recap. We're asking you to call your doctors and hospitals for a reason, because the last time we did this, the insurer put a link up on their website, and the link said that you click here and you'll find your doctors. And many of us found all of our doctors on there. But then it wasn't until we called the doctor's office did we find out that the doctor wouldn't take the plan that was being offered. So now we're playing with this like game of semantics, right? We're trying to figure out, are they really in the plan? Do they understand the name of the plan? We debated, do we take the CONY, that Coney, do we take that off, City of New York, we take that off, we add it back on. We said, you know what? Michelle said, just add it back on because that's what they're calling the plan in the letter they're sending us out to it, and that's what they're calling it. So we put it back on today, City of New York, Aetna Medicare Advantage Plan PPO, right? And that's what we want you to call and ask when you're calling your doctors and hospitals. Are you in the network of the city of New York's Aetna Medicare Advantage PPO plan? And they should say yes or no. And if they say no, you want to ask, will you accept this plan for payment? Those are your two questions. And it's really important that you be able to tell us, yes, they're in the network, or no, they're in the network, and yes or no, they will accept the plan for payment. That is hugely important. So please keep those notes on the date and time you spoke, you called, who you spoke to, what office you spoke with, and write those answers down. Do you have something to say?
Correct.
Carl?
I do, yeah, because the reason why you have to say the city of New York, because I don't know if you're aware that there is a difference between Aetna PPO and Aetna PPO City of New York plan. So this is why you have to make sure you ask the proper name. And even Mr. Mulgrew makes it a point that this is the city of New York.
Yeah, he even called it Coney. I don't like the name, Coney. He said it the other day, right?
But we
Um,
want
Like
to,
Coney Island.
yeah, right. But we want to make sure that we comply. And we say the city of New York Medicare Advantage plan. So,
Aetna
Yeah.
Medicare Advantage.
And remember something else, when you're calling the hospitals, you can't only ask, is the hospital taking the plan? You have to ask, are the doctors at the hospital taking the plan, or do I need to call them individually? Because we learned, like in hospitals for special surgery last year, when you called HSS, they said the facility will take the plan, but you have to call each individual physician. So we're keeping this in the beginning. That way, if anyone who drops off on the Q&A, these are the facts that you need to understand why we're asking you to do what we're asking you to do. So the other ask we had was, do you have anything from your union or any newsletter or any paper from the city or anywhere that says anything about what you were entitled to have when you retired in terms of health insurance? Not just generically that you would have health, or just something that would be more specific as to you would have a choice of plans, a choice of Medigap plans. What would be your Medicare eligible plan? There's even a booklet that we're trying to find that's from like 1968. And if you find that and it's about your healthcare and Medicare, we're looking for that too. So dig down deep.
Actually, there are two of them that we've been on the lookout for. So for a lot of us, it would have been when we first began being employed by the city, when we were young and weren't thinking of retirement. But what were we told back then,
right.
30, 40 years ago, some people even more?
Right. So then what we're going to do is one of our teachers had given us and I have to work on this weekend, is helping me develop how we're going to collect this data. And so you'll probably see from us starting Monday or Tuesday, if hopefully I can get done with this weekend. I need to tweak that form, because what's going to happen is, as you're collecting this data, the phone calls, we need to get you to tell us if you'd be willing to do an affidavit. And if you would, I then have to put that into a spreadsheet, ask you to sign up. You're going to sign up. All that data would go to a spreadsheet for us. And then we have to get that information to the notary that's going to help you do those documents, especially if you're out of state. And this is mostly for the out of state people. If you're local in New York, then you can just go do those affidavits all on your own, but we'll put that out next week for you to make it super simple. We have new homework coming out next week. If I have the ability to put it out tomorrow, I will. Otherwise, it'll probably hit on Sunday or Monday. What we're looking to do is start a campaign to City Council, because we have a bill that's in the City Council that, if you read today's work bites, that the speaker is saying she's not going to touch, and that the council's not going to touch, because they're going into elections and they don't want to touch this. So this is their hot potato. Well, we're retirees. We're human beings. We're not hot potatoes. So I think we're going to start a little pressure campaign back up and ask them to make a pledge about what they're going to do. And so we're going to start to roll that out. I'm hoping this weekend. If not, it will be on Monday. And then that we'll probably have other little increments. Oh, and we have phone calls that have to also happen. So we'll start putting up some of this stuff. You're going to have a lot of homework. I would say either once a day or twice a day, a different homework assignment, so stay tuned. And then the other thing to that at that point is, look, we're working like freaking dogs on this, so if you see that we're making a typo, I don't want to know about it. I'm just gonna tell you, I am imperfect. I don't care about perfect. I am imperfect. I embrace my imperfectness. I am totally cool with it. So if you find a grammatical error, if it's not critical, crucial, just fix it yourself. And that's all I got there. So who's got questions?
Okay, so hold on.
Renee says, here in California, they automatically say that Coney indicated a local New York City plan and not nationwide, and that's probably why it's not in their computer. So you're telling me that it's not in the computer yet.
But they heard of it. So,
They've heard of it. So that's interesting. That means they must have gotten something.
right, or a
but-
phone call, right. Okay,
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting, and I think I know why, because it's not registered yet with the controller. He hasn't authorized it, although this is what happens when they do things preemptively. So,
Right.
Oh, there is one more thing to add. 21st. Listen, guys, I've got two things to talk to you about the 21st. We said to save the date. There's two things to do. There's a couple city council committee meetings in person in the council, and there's also on Zoom. And then there's a contract hearing, what they call MOCs, the mayor offer of contracts. That's on that phone, that's on a conference call, the phone call. It's not a Zoom, it's not in person, it's literally on a phone call. If you guys were with us last year, you remember the train wreck of that phone call last year. Do you remember that, Michelle? Where like
Oh
everyone
my
was
God.
screaming, yelling, like it was just sheer chaos. So
yes, it was.
I just posted a little while ago the link to that. Please write a little testimony about why that contract should not be registered by the controller. And remember when Brad Lander spoke to us last year, the issue was that he had control over whether there was fraud or their investigation. He would have to check it among Vendex. This is where especially you people that worked in contracts or OMB or the controller, that you might be able to help out by testifying in that. As well as anyone else who I guess wants to express an opinion, but especially those people who have had experience with contract registrations, where you can talk about the negotiated acquisition process, if this is a stale contract, Aetna being under investigation by the Department of Justice. There was a couple of complaints, even like with Councilman Brannon, Councilman Charles Barron saying that Aetna was a company that had been involved in the slave trade, and New York shouldn't be working with an organization that was like that. So all of these points, right? And that you don't think it should be registered. Now, the controller has a very narrow parameter of what he could do with this contract and why he could refuse to register it or not, right? So we also learned last year when we met with the controller that he told us that even if he did not register the contract, that the contract could be registered by the mayor. The mayor could actually override him. So we also know that that's potentially a possibility. So these are all things that we want to, we would want to keep in mind as we're preparing for testimony. So I'm going to ask you, I'll make a thread up, a post up and ask anyone willing on the 21st to, just know it starts at like 10 in the morning and you could be on there for several hours. So if you would commit to being up on that call and talking, and you have a little testimony, it's under 3 minutes, keep it really short. You'd also have to submit it into follow that paper that I put up submit your testimony. So help us do that because we'll be doing that as well.
Right.
Is this going to be a problem for Florida retirees in the New York City Aetna MAP PPO? So Josephine, one of the things they're saying that this is a national plan and that they acknowledge that there's going to be retirees that this plan isn't going to serve, but clearly some of the unions, especially the UFT and DC 37, didn't seem to give a shit about that. That's where we come in, where you guys come in, where we have to tell them why this isn't going to help. Now, for those of you that are living in continuing care residential communities, CCRCs, For those of you that have parents that are in assisted livings that are not going to take Medicare Advantage, you guys especially need to look at the city council hearing, because on the 21st, there's also hearings at about 10:30 on the Committee on Health. You need to be either in that committee or Zooming on that committee meeting to say, you're a retiree or your parents are retiree, this plan is not going to cover you or your parent, and that this is a problem. Or we have retirees, and there's another retiree that just reminded me I still have to get back to, who has a disabled adult child who gets their care at Stony Brook. Stony Brook doesn't accept this plan. That must be heard, right?
Right. I have all her
California.
info. Right.
I know I have her info as well. I kept saying I'm going to call her, but I will message her and I will call her in the morning. For those that are in California that are finding out the plans are not, the doctors are not, or hospitals not taking your plan, you must be in that hearing or Zooming on that hearing on health. Make yourselves be heard, that they need to step in and get involved. And then we are going to help you start that campaign on Monday, Tuesday as well. That was the only thing I forgot.
Right. Okay, so I just wanted to bring, because I just had a thought here. Just to clear up something, because I was on the phone for a good hour today with a retiree. So I keep getting asked the same question over and over again, and I see it pop up consistently. Okay, everybody goes back to, oh, well, why won't they offer the $191 for us to, buy the Medigap plan? Okay, that 191 has been off the table since the Alliance pulled out. Okay, ever since they pulled out, that was that negotiated amount for that plan for senior care at that time. When they pulled out and we won and kept winning, then that was it. That became a null and void type of thing. So that does
But
not
that's-
apply, right? But
It has to do with the judge's decision stating that, and this is a union decision, so let's clarify that.
right,
Judge said that the city had to pay for any plan under the HIP HMO. The unions made it clear, as did the city, that they didn't want to pay for any plan. So if they didn't want to pay for a plan, then they had to be able to remove every plan available to you that would have a cost to the city. So it wasn't just, the reason was for the 191 was only what was, like Michelle said, was for the price of the plan of senior care at that time. They had eliminated all your other choices of plans last year. They just didn't make that crystal clear to you, but that's exactly what they did. Because if you remember, you could only stay in the plan that you were in. You were going to have to pay $191, or you'd have to be in senior care or the Medicare Advantage plan. That's it. You could not go from your senior care plan into United, or from senior care into Aetna. Oh, and the Aetna Medicare Advantage retirees that are in Florida, their plan is ending too. They are then rolling all of those Aetna Medicare Advantage people into this plan is what their goal is.
right. So, and everything kind of tied into it, but just so you know, because everybody keeps saying, well, I want to pay 191.
It's
yeah,
not fair.
right.
So
So,
Steve Salmon says, what exactly will happen if we opt out? How pricey would it be? Keep traditional, then pick a Medigap like through ARP or United. So it's not, I don't want to keep saying opt out. It's that literally you are forfeiting you're being forced to forfeit your city healthcare benefits. And by doing that, you are forfeiting your Medicare B reimbursement. You have to now pay for your Medicare on your own. That 165 isn't getting reimbursed. You have to pay for your Medigap. And if you're one of those people that doesn't have a union welfare fund with a drug plan, you're paying for your drug plan too. That's what
Right.
the cost is.
so, and just to also say, at some point, when, we move along and we're chugging down the road, we will help everybody depending on what the outcome is and everything else, to say, okay, just like I told the retiree today, and have a plan, because again, we always have a plan. We're always steps ahead, and we'll make sure that everybody has the proper information and how to go about everything like we always do. So nobody's going to be left in the dark, because we never do that.
So Helen says she called MIMO and they told her that they would take it, but the doctors have to be called individually, so keep that in
Correct.
mind. Yeah. Got it. Delray Beach, Florida billing department people I spoke to did not recognize the Aetna Medicare Advantage PPO. It's ESA, not ESO. ESO, City of New York, in my opinion, they each seem to react to the words PPO. But see, that's really weird because you would think that Aetna Medicare Advantage PPO is what they should be recognizing. It's just the City of New York part wouldn't strike a familiar tone.
Right, and because if you look on, so Aetna PPO is actually the commercial insurance, because if you look at the MSK site and you pull it up, you'll see that Aetna PPO is listed under commercial, and the Aetna New York City PPO Advantage Plan for the City of New York, I should say, is for New York City employees.
Retirees.
Retirees, sorry. Retirees. So that's why there's a difference. So, when that's where the confusion comes.
So Sharon says, is Mulgrew still planning to offer UFT members a non-city Medigap plan, which they would have to pay for and lose their Medicare reimbursement in IRMA, something like buying a wolf in sheep's clothing? So that's the other thing I forgot to tell you. Thank you for reminding me. So today, Michael Mulgrew and the Municipal Labor Committee put out a letter to all the unions. So we had to reply. Let me see if I could quickly find that and then I'll read it to you because, this just never ends. So Harry Nisfoli puts out a memo today that says, I have been informed that there are lies circulating that the United Federation of Teachers cut its own secret deal with the city and would allow its retirees to have options to remain in senior care. This is untrue. UFT retirees will be in the Aetna Medicare Advantage Plan, PPO, HIP VIP, or opt into traditional Medicare, the same options as all New York City retirees. This is but another scurrilous attempt to poison the atmosphere regarding the Aetna Medicare Advantage Plan and use the tactics of the enemies of labor to divide the MLC. Sounds ominous, doesn't it? To combat, we're now squirrels. I had to look at that twice. Scurrilous. To combat the misinformation out there, I have secured the UFT's permission to share with you an FAQ that the UFT prepared for its retirees so that you could, if you choose, share it with your retirees so that they may better understand how the Aetna MA plan operates, what it requires, and what it doesn't. Now, please chirp in here, teacher retirees that were at that UFT RTC meeting.
But it just said, we heard him on video.
Okay, girl. So, oh my God, like OMG, because holy cow, did he not say? And you guys could give me a quick whatever thumbs up if I'm lying, thumbs down, or angry face. But if I'm telling the truth here, thumbs up on this one. Didn't Michael Mulgrew at the RTC meeting say that negotiations weren't finished and he's actually working on a special Medigap plan for his people? There you go. Thumbs up, baby.
Yep, he definitely said it. They're popping up. Listen, but the fact that MLC letter that went out, he said the wrong plan. There's a typo in there. See, there you go, teachers. There's a typo in there. That's wrong information. That's misinformation. He's spreading his own misinformation.
Look at all those thumbs up. See, it wasn't us. So I know, I played the audio. I know, it's in my YouTube. And I even wrote the email to the union president saying, it wasn't Marianne that said it. Here, click here. You can listen to Michael say it. Listen to Michael. Wasn't me.
Oh, that's right. Where's my wasn't me?
Mine's inside and I can't get up. It wasn't me.
Oh, wait, I got mine.
All the thumbs up, even thumbs up, real thumbs up. I mean, wasn't me, yeah.
Hey,
You know, you cannot make this shit up. They just want to gaslight everybody and say, don't listen to those retirees, they're lying. No, dude, you're lying. Oh my God. Deborah, he has no idea what he's doing. No, and he has no idea what he's playing with either. He's playing with fire. Do retirees have to accept the Aetna plan now? Or will we automatically place it? Lawrence, we are fighting this. This is why we need the evidence and prepare our case for the attorneys so that we can actually probably try to get a injunction to stop the plan and then get it before a judge. So that's why we're asking for all of this information, because we have to get it to the lawyers to be able, for them to be able to draft the brief properly and have it supported. Melinda Rubin, I sent you the 2010 UFT Retirees Handbook that Senior Care had the best benefits via Michael Mulgrew, and we can change to other choice plans at any time. Well, we can't do that now. There's only one plan. So Melinda, Michelle will check. I'm pretty sure she has that UFT book you're talking
Yes.
about.
yes, I
Yeah.
do. I have the 2010. Somebody else had sent it to me. And I am getting your email, so if I didn't respond to you yet, I will within the next day or two. I just had some things to take care of today. So I am getting your documents, and I do have a 2010 book. So I appreciate it. You guys have been great. So stuff is coming in. So kudos to you guys out there. But keep sending more stuff in because we need it.
We need a lot of
Even old employee handbooks, as I said earlier, not specifically for retirement, but employee handbooks that you got when you first started working.
Right.
Find them and let Mary Ann, Michelle know.
Right. Blow that dust off it.
Vince Vitale says, one of the points of contention is the mashing all unions previously negotiated healthcare into one plan, and then having that one plan make up for unions that lacked benefits, and then removing the better option in order to start saving money in order to, as you know, make up for that shortfall that they created in the malfeasance way. That was a very diplomatic way of writing that, Vince, and yes, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what they did.
So Renee asked, they pay 125 for their prescription plan. So there hasn't been a lot of info regarding the Aetna RX. I know they said it on the webinar that I watched, and they said that if your union provides a prescription plan, you can keep it. You can upgrade, as they say, to the Aetna RX plan. But again, there hasn't been a lot of info on the RX plan, but I would suggest calling them and asking, and let us know what they say, because I've been getting a lot of feedback on some of the phone calls that I don't have the number memorized yet for the Aetna number, but I'll have that memorized shortly. So
Oh my God, do you remember that? You used to, you knew that
don't
number.
laugh, don't laugh, because one of our moderators actually remembers that other number.
Oh my God, I don't even remember. I don't want, don't say it. You might trigger me.
That's okay, I didn't say it, but I saw it in the chat the other day.
Let's see. Irene says, how can the retirees express to the active employees that they will be affected as well? Well, just like that, Irene, you need to start going back to your old workplaces if you're local, or calling there and saying that the Municipal Labor Committee and the union have negotiated away their retirement health benefits away, and they know that they're not paying attention because they're not. They're looking at what their active benefits are. And if they're anything like the DC 37 workers, the DC 37 workers are just worried about getting their sign-on bonus and their retro pay. They don't really give a shit about their retiree health benefits right now. They want what will help them now. They're not looking for later. And unfortunately, the unions, having no conscience, being able to negotiate that shit away, don't realize that by them ratifying their contracts, that they are agreeing to sell off retirement health care to fund their current raises, but with that, they're selling us off. So Very scary that UFT sent out letters saying that the plan begins September. Yes, I'm familiar, Gail, and this is why I think honestly the retirees have to separate from the UFT. The UFT is not representing you. They're not defending you. They're not protecting you. They're not looking out for you. They just want your money. So, you know, we've been saying this for a while now. There's really no reason to belong to the United Federation of Teachers as a retiree. Start your own retiree chapter. I mean, look, we did. Accidentally. Do you mean that you have lived apart from this group? Do you mean you have lived apart from this group? I know. I don't even remember what my life was like before this group. When I kid you not, there's like an indentation where my butt's been in this chair for 2 years. Very funny. So if the UFT negotiates an alternative Medigap, won't Aetna pull out conflict of interest? Actually, Claudia, no. You know why? Because the contract actually has a couple of very interesting clauses in it. One, it actually provides for a Medigap plan. What happens when a supplemental plan comes into play? That the city would have to pay Aetna $20 a person a month if they offer a Medigap plan to retirees to opt into, instead of using the Aetna Medicare Advantage plan, if it's paid for by the city. So, because their theory is no one's going to want their crappy plan, and we're going to end up going back into a Medigap plan, and they don't want to take the risk, so the city's going to have to pay them. That's one. The other thing, the other clause that was in there was a disruptive clause. Now we're going to be called disruptive rogue rumps.
Right.
You can't make this shit up. You just can't.
The DRR.
That's really funny. Mary Volpe's next contestant Dobrinsky says, you can't make this shit show up. God bless you all. Thank you. You're welcome. And just so you know, when Michelle and Carol and me and the girls were going through the contract on Sunday, I lost my power because a car hit the telephone pole on the corner. And I literally had to go downstairs with my computer, pull the spare accessory battery out of my Volkswagen bus, clip it to a power inverter, plug my computer in with candelabras just in order to be able to go through the contract. And then when they disconnected the power outside, I even lost my cell service. I mean, we were really struggling hard, and then the rest of them just finished without me. It was very sad.
Well, no, I had you on cell phone for a while, and then
You
on the
You were
laptop.
coming in and out, Mary Ann, in and out.
Yeah. We tried. That's dedication. And if you saw my setup, you'd probably be scared. I know Jimmy was scared. He's like, don't show a firefighter that picture.
Well, what was the first thing I said to you? I said, don't burn your house down.
2 candelabras, a battery on a metal table, and a power inverter.
Somebody said this is Medicare Advantage 2.0. We've been saying that. Or MAP 2.0.
Yes, we have. Your NYSERS books and files are not going to help you, Ellen. This is not a NYSERS issue. This is strictly a healthcare issue. So we've had that problem last year. NYSERS does not talk, NYSERS books did not talk about healthcare plans, only the health books did. So their summary plan description books was for healthcare, and they did have some summary books, but for pension, but we don't need those.
Right. So they'll say summary plan description, health benefits on it.
Yep.
Right. So those are the ones that we need. And again, even like Carol said, even stuff from when you first got hired that explains, you'll get benefits, you'll get, this is what you're be entitled to, anything of that nature. If you were promised something, benefits, if you take this, crappy salary, whatever it is, we'll give you benefits for life,
Even if you go back to having started when Lindsay was mayor or Beam was mayor, if you have the handbooks from back then, if your parent worked for the city and started back in the, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever you might have, pull it out, dig it. We know some people are pack rats. So good, make use of it. Find your
That's
old
right.
stuff.
So Sherry Schleckman says, Mary Ann, you're in DC 37. Why aren't DC 37 retirees office not sending us any information? I find info from my UFT friends. It's not right. I'm going to ask you to contact Bob Gervasi and you can ask him that question. I know that they are sending us $2,000 a month donations, but I would say, please ask DC 37 retirees so you can get your own answer. Linda says, I just received something today about the RX plan, but I didn't get to read it yet. It was from the Union UFT. All right, so let us know. Laura Rudin says, I have rules and regulations from 1987. Do you want it? Rules and regulations for what? Lynn says, it also says in the 2010 UFT retiree handbook that HIP VIP and the Aetna Healthcare Golden Medicare plan are Medicare risk plans. And those were Medicare Advantage type plans. They called them Medicare risk or they called them Medicare cost, but it was basically the same type of thing.
Right.
Steve Salmon says, I subbed today in my school and I mentioned all but none had any idea, but listen. I'm not shocked, Steve, because they're young and it doesn't affect them and they probably mostly don't care. USA, George, at 8:31 say we keep prescription optical and dental. Yes, we've been saying you don't lose your welfare fund benefits if you leave the city plan. But I'm not advocating to leave the city plan. You worked your buns off in order to keep your city plan. I say we fight this. So Harriet says, so I thought you pay $103.50 a month from September to December, and then you pay $131 a month. I thought this was for the drug plan and the new Aetna plan. So the drug cost you're talking about is the new Aetna drug plan cost. For this year, it would be $103.50, and then it is going up to $135 and change for 2024. So that is still high because you can get a Medicare Part D plan, as I'm sure William Shenton can tell you. Yes, William, I have not gotten anything that you've given me. I do apologize. But yes, you can get a Part D plan cheaper on the outside if you end up going on the outside. But I would not advocate for forfeiting your city plans right now. Helen Prop, spoke to stupid people, ask for manager in charge, never received a call back. I don't know who you're talking to.
It's not about the Aetna hotline. I know exactly what to talk to about and who.
You know we're gonna have to start playing again, right?
Oh, I know.
I had my own calls this week with them and they were equally as ignorant.
Oh, so did Ralph. That was what Ralph was calling about earlier tonight.
Oh, okay.
Something else that I think people also need to keep in mind with the prescriptions is that what you're on now is not what you might need in the future. Down the road, you might well need medications that you are not currently taking. As you get older, your needs change, your doctors will change your prescriptions. So that's
Dennis,
important.
Dennis Walsh says, do we know any info on the new proposed DC 37 contract that's supposed to be ratified March 31? As far as the union saying there's no changes in healthcare, which MLC agreement 1418? And Dennis, that's a great question. Is it the 14 agreement? Is it the 18 agreement? Is there a new agreement you don't know about? And actually your union president and Henry Garrido and Rose Lavaglio should be answering that question. And if you're not getting an answer, you call up AFSCME and you tell them that my union, my executive director, they're not giving me the information for me to support ratifying this contract. I want to know when they're making these referrals as to what this is. I need to know what they're referring to and they're not sharing it with me. So we keep saying, just like we said, there's a reason why you should be looking at the contracts, because if you don't, don't know what's in the details. These are reasons why. Where Michelle and Carol and myself here, we've read the Aetna contract all weekend long. And we keep finding, even going back, reading it a second and third time, you keep finding other stuff that you missed the first time. There's reasons that, especially in that document, number 5, they allude to an MLC agreement that says your free healthcare as an employee, your healthcare is premium free based on that MLC agreement. I did a video up on our YouTube channel where Henry and I think Laura Morand and Donald Nesbitt were saying basically that I am not telling you the truth because the MLC agreement has nothing the MLC agreement has nothing to do with the economic agreement. Well, I show you an economic agreement of DC 37 from 2000, and that's only because when I quickly had the idea to do that video and I Google searched one, that's the video, that's the economic agreement for DC 37 that came up on the Department of Labor's website. So you show it and I show you where it is, all the different parts in that economic agreement that refer back to healthcare and retiree healthcare. So don't believe what they're saying, because if it wasn't there, they would have no problem with saying it to you. The other thing is that the public employee press came out, and I think mine's in the kitchen. When the public employee press came out, please do me a favor and open that up. And I want you to turn to the page that shows Henry Garrido and Renee Campion signing the contract. You see that? It's picture number 2, signing the contract.
Oh, I have the PEP.
Okay, open it up. So when you go to that page where they're signing the contract, number 2 identifies as the executive director, Henry Garrido, and the New York City Labor Commissioner, Renee Campion, sign a tentative agreement for DC 37 members on February 16th. See photo. Now, go to back to photo number 2. And there is Henry Garrido. Where is that? There's Henry signing. It's hard to see on here. Multi-paged or to see all that paper. Why aren't you seeing that? Why aren't they showing you those papers? That's the agreement. And then there's details. Why hasn't that been written up? You should not be ratifying any contract without seeing the details of the contract. I don't remember what page it was on, but you'll see Henry and Renee.
It's right on the front page. And did you know that they left the retiree stuff out of here?
Yeah, they stiffed the DC 37 retirees last page. The retirees always have the last page and they pay $1,000 for it. And I think like $1,000 a month or something in order to have that retiree page. They stiffed the DC 37 retirees out of that newsletter. And what it was in there was Bob Gervasi's statement about his update, as well as supporting our fight for Medicare, and he didn't want that message to get out to the retirees. This is why I'm saying, when people keep advocating that you should still be attached to your unions, until our unions come back full circle and that they remember who they're supposed to be, who they're supposed to protect, and come back with some integrity, you need to separate yourself and separate your money from them. Hopefully one day we can go back, but I'm not seeing any reason to support them at this point. And I know Bob isn't probably happy about hearing me say that, but right now, Henry isn't doing anything for us, and neither is Michael, and neither is those other unions that have all voted yes to do this to us. Pull yourself away, then maybe they'll make a difference. Once they feel it in their pocket, maybe something will change. Look, we are labor, we are union, and we keep saying that, but these people doing this to us, this is not what labor does, and I'm sorry. And it's disgusting that I even have to say that, and I'm disappointed that those words even have to pass my lips, because this was never how labor treated their retirees ever. Did you see the picture?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I wonder if I wish I had that enhanced technology, scan it and see if I can blow it up and see what it's.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Because I can't tell how many papers are there. I mean, even if it's only 2 or 3 sheets of paper, but.
No, it looks like there's like a big stack of papers there.
I don't know. So how can he say that it's just that one pager, that they did? That doesn't sound right.
No, there's a chunk of paper that's there.
Doctors are asking who they contact about the plan. Aetna. Give them the same number you got. Can you speak to the legal action at this point if you don't want strategies to become public? No worries, I understand, just curious where we are. So Margaret, This organization does not post our legal strategies here online or what our briefs would contain, right? So we have a board that does that. Our officers, we're like, I don't know what, 12, 14 people. And then our women warriors group, and then the lawyers and our advisors. So right now, we can tell you, we are asking you to do homework to be able to get evidence to come back to further bolster our legal arguments. And then let the attorneys draft it. And then we'll let you know what those drafts, when those drafts are finalized and when they're published, you will have a link to them to go see them. Because then the whole world could see them. Yes, it is still amazing how many people don't really recognize this is an issue. I have a paperwork for City of New York Health Benefits Program, frequently asked questions for retirees. Kathy, all you could do is make a really good snapshot or scan it and send it to Michelle, and we'll sort it out. She's really good at that.
Yep.
Gwen Miller, that is the DC 37 active mindset. Bonus wages, remote work. As they said in the group I follow, called City Workers for New York City. Our healthcare is secure, no change. They're good with that. Yeah. This was devised as ugly as it could be. Let's just sell off the low-hanging fruit that we don't represent, that don't vote for us, that don't vote for our contract. Yes, I know the teachers vote for their election, but that's an anomaly. That you guys are the unicorn. But they only do that with a low-weighted vote. I think your vote doesn't count for a full vote. Yeah, it's like 25 or 27,000 votes. And that's all you're allowed to do. And then they connect your dues to a health benefit that most of you want to keep. So they keep you connected to the union, which doesn't make any sense if you're paying them and they're not helping you or advocating for you. I mean, that part doesn't make any sense to me. Stephen Lawson, the NYPD is currently negotiating a new contract, yet they abstain from voting, which makes one wonder what they're cooking up for the actives because they don't care about the retirees. And that's concerning too. And to be honest with you, I think they learned last week that their abstention counts for nothing. And I don't think they realized that before. They know now. James Collins, please share the Aetna contract you referenced. James, go up to the New York City Office of Labor Relations website. It's all there.
James, when you go on to the Office of Labor Relations, you want to look under Health Benefits Program, click on Learn More, and you'll see the contract listed.
Please share a link. And Carlucci Schneider, same thing, OLR website. Wendy Beck, disruptive. Please spell check, don't make it disruptive.
That's cute.
Thanks, Wendy. DB Crescenzo, I'm appalled by the huge amount of money Mulgrew and the UFT are spending on printing and mailing and Aetna propaganda to every UFT retiree. He's desperate to absolve himself of the consequences for his shameful misuse and abuse of the stabilization fund. Well, and also lying to all of you is even, to me, more important in my book. But yes. Did you read my question about health benefits for retirees? Kathy, I don't think so. So send it to Michelle. Sandra Skalski, if our doctors don't take it and we have only one plan, we will be paying doctor bills. You can afford that. Sandra, that's why this group exists, to litigate. That's why we need you to do an affidavit if that's the case. So stay tuned because more homework's coming next week. Gerald, Marianne, you need solar panels. Yes, I do, Gerald. And maybe if this thing is ever over, I can find time to go install them. Did I read somewhere that money was involved in getting Aetna to reduce some of the pre-authorization? Diane, yes, you did. So because the city and the MLC had them negotiated with them to remove like 75% of the pre-authorizations, they have to pay Aetna $15 per person per month for the first 2 years. But guess what? The contract also says after those 2 years, they could reevaluate those rescinded prior authorizations and potentially add them.
Or putting them back in. Add up the number of things that have pre-authorizations as time goes by.
Ellen says the Aetna online meetings are horrible, real dog and pony show. They don't answer tough questions. We kind of think they're answered by a bot, to be totally upfront. It might be like AI. We don't think those are real humans because it just doesn't seem human. Renee, our drug plan is through Express Scripts Emblem. Well, and they want to change that. We think they're killing Emblem. We honestly do. After everything we're seeing, we don't think Emblem's going to survive this city plan at all. Len Basile, is it true Mogul was driving the car that took your out? That's very funny, Len. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't some big, well-known personality with a megaphone talking about elderly union retirees having their Medicare forced and yanked from them, wouldn't that start a domino effect? Doesn't any of our members know a big shot who would step into this fray? Well, I would say if any of you are on social media, try talking to Susan Sarandon. If you're on Instagram, please try going up to Shannon Doherty, as I've been trying to ping her. Shannon was as an actress in SAG-AFTRA. She was in Beverly Hills 90210. She now has stage 4 cancer again. And so her cancer's come back. She's in stage 4. She's going through treatment. And when I found that, I was going through my monthly treatment, and she posted to Fran Drescher, who's president of SAG-AFTRA. And why is that important? Fran's from Queens. Fran's a New Yorker. Fran's a cancer survivor, and she put all of her SAG-AFTRA actor retirees on Medicare Advantage that she negotiated with AFL-CIO. So if you're on social media, please reach out to the Shando, which is Shannon Doherty. Keep trying to ping her and either me or the retirees, because we both have accounts on Instagram, as well as I think it's the official Fran Drescher. And then Susan Sarandon. Those are really the only other people I could think that would be interested to help that are New Yorkers. Michael Eddington, I understand that Aetna's rating as an insurance company dropped. Does that affect whether or not the city will sign a contract? You can mention that in your testimony, because I think they went down to 3.5 from like 4 or 4.5. And yes, not only would that affect it, it would also affect the reimbursement rate, which is going to make them hungry for more money, because if it continues to drop, what they get from their reimbursement rate from Medicare actually drops too, because that means that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or the reason why Medicare pays them to do their job.
Right.
You're welcome, Will. Question, I just noticed that my husband's Board of Ed retirement pension check is deducted each month for COLA, CBP, EMP, CBBP, BC. I have no clue what the hell that is. I thought you don't pay for retirement benefits. Can you please let me know how much that is, Josephine? Because if it's like $3.85 and that's going to be your possibly a 365 rider, if you can message us and let us know how much that is, we can kind of tell you. Also, if anyone in your household is on the GHI CBP plan and you are under 65, I would be interested in knowing what that amount is. I never knew I should never have decluttered. Effing Merle Kondo. I know. I have a 1997 Tier 2 handbook. Do you want info from that? So Jane, if that is a Tier 2 handbook, it is probably a pension handbook. If it doesn't say anything about health insurance, Medigap plans, supplemental plans, the answer is no. I don't know Susan, who's John Oliver? Can anyone help me with who is John Oliver who discusses injustice? I don't know who that is. Hi, I'm from Brooklyn and wondering, is there a group in this area who get together to make our voices powerful? Richard in Borough Park. I have no idea, Richard. I mean, we do occasionally get together for rallies, but I think, I don't know. You'd have to wait, I guess, wait till someone calls one. Usually when there's one called, if we're doing it, we post it. let's see, how do we get these handbooks to you, to addresses? So if there's specific pages in the book, what would be helpful is you photocopy the front, you photocopy the back, you photocopy any page that has the year of the book on it, and then all the pages that have to do with care. And if we need something more, we'll let you know. And then scan it. You can scan it and then email it to Michelle.
Yeah.
But don't just send us the page. We need the book. So we need to see the front of the book, the back of the book, if there's an inside cover page that says like what the book is and what year it was printed, what year it was for, we need that as well as additional to the health information that that booklet contains. I have old contract books. So Linda, start going through them when you're bored this weekend and see if there's anything to do with healthcare and then let us know.
Healthcare for retirees, not
Right.
actives.
As a retiree in Florida, I might have to get a job down here just for health benefits. No, we're going to try to save your life, Lawrence. Come on, be a little positive. You shouldn't have to go work, be a greeter at Walmart. Don't worry. I'm appalled that the city is paying Aetna $15 a person a month so that pre-authorizations can be made. Imagine if the city put this money towards keeping senior care. Yeah, they'd end up paying like $50 million for just for that benefit. But to them, they were paying $439 million before, so they're just still seeing that as a benefit, which not realizing that cost is going to keep going up.
Right.
Sanitation Local 831 never sends anything. Jean Biscardi, that is going to be important to put in your affidavit, because according to everything that's like in the summary plan descriptions and whatever, the unions are obligated to send information for updating their retirees. It's the union's job to do that. And you should say you didn't get anything from the union on that. So keep that a point. Columbia Presbyterian Billing says no to Coney Insurance. They are not participating, only the Aetna PPO. Did you hear that before?
What was that?
Columbia Press.
Have them send it to me in an email so I can document that.
Karen, send that information to Michelle.
Right, so everybody who's been calling their doctors and stuff, shoot me an email because I've been keeping track on a spreadsheet of these calls.
I contacted the 9/11 health group about this issue overlapping with the World Trade Center health issue. I got a call back saying that they know about the retiree issue, but it's not their area of concern. Well, and that's a good question, because if there are non-first responder type personnel, part of the World Trade Center rules is that you have to maintain your health insurance in order for you to be in the World Trade Center program. I'm going to assume, and you guys can tell me, and that's because I don't know how your plan works for you, your World Trade Center plan. I know how mine works for me. So if you are a World Trade Center responder and you are in the World Trade Center national program, but your care goes through your health insurance, we need to know that. So send that to Michelle as well. In the subject line, put World Trade Center survivor and your health, and Michelle and I will kind of figure some of that out for you. We have a connection there too. Especially, you need to tell us that your World Trade Center care goes through your personal health insurance. That we need to know.
Right.
Also, when you're making phone calls to your own doctors, let's say you call your own cardiologist, and that cardiologist says they're not going to be taking the new Aetna Medicare Advantage PPO Coney plan. So you start looking around to see who you could go to as a new cardiologist. make notes. If you're finding you're calling this doctor and they're not gonna take it, let us know that. You gotta start looking around, what you would do, who you would go to.
NYU told me to call Aetna to find out if they are in the plan. No, that's the wrong answer. You never want to trust the insurance company. Because if you remember last year, they told us all your doctors are in the plan. And then you still have people in DC 37 and the teachers still say, UFT still saying, if they take Medicare, they have to take this plan. No, that's wrong.
Right, right. Mm.
Will Rite Aid be part of this? There's a bunch in Sheets at Steve. I have no idea. I have no idea. Typically, it's Silver Scripts, which means they would prefer you use CVS, which Aetna owns.
Yes.
No, it's the other way, I think. I think
CVS owns
CVS
Aetna.
owns
Yeah.
Aetna.
Yeah, so it'd be CVS. I think Walgreens is a preferred pharmacy. I'm not sure about Rite Aid.
Infusion center search brought up in vitro fertilization for
Read
retirees.
that. I read that. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. Jeff Levy, page 5 has the picture. I'm a little behind here. COVID is silent, not one word from the president, Benny Basho. As a retiree of 13 years, I'm embarrassed. He claims he defends, then stabs us in the back. Yeah, Richard, I don't know what to say there. Benny don't talk to me either. He never returns my phone calls. He doesn't return my emails. I mean, but your corrections captains, they have a little bit more of a conscience, so I'm a little happy there. But yeah, I'm with you on that one, brother. How can you possibly know what doctors will be servicing you when if you're in the hospital? Well, that's another good question. So Tina, what you just need to do is check and see that the hospital is accepting your plan as the facility, and then the doctors that you are seeing would accept your plan as well. I told several DC 37 employees, ask what the health care will be before voting for the contract. Oh, they said they told us it will be the same. Ha. Yeah, that's because they're not reading. I swear, young people could be really ignorant. Or too trust.
Well, right. ESA stands for Extended Service Area. So that's what that means. Somebody was asking about that.
Janice, go back and watch the earlier part of the video where there's a Work Bites article where Adrian Adams says the council isn't taking up our bill, so we're going to have council homework next week. Don't worry. David says, I stopped supporting my union when my union stopped supporting me. Our imposter union leaders want to portray us retirees as divisive, disruptive, spoiled, and reckless. The city has surplus money. Good luck with the huge amount being allotted for mental health as we all get systematically plundered. Ellen says, how can the MLC have any authority if no one except the MLC seems to know what unions are members of the MLC and which are in good standing so that they can vote? And if so, what are the weighted votes that would be for individual unions? We're working on that. Any idea what chapter 54, it should be 54, not 584 of the labor law of 1967 means? It's on my 1974 paper. Well, John Pachanka, I don't honestly know which paper you're looking at. Maybe it is 584, but you've got to send it to us. I have no idea what you're talking about. If I stop paying union dues, I will lose my eye and dental. No, you won't. Shouldn't UFT supposed to give us a nationwide plan? That's what they're saying this is. But remember something, it's available, they say nationwide. It should be almost nationwide. It shouldn't be nationwide. They may, one of the things that the girls found this weekend when I lost my power going through the rest of that contract was, what was it? There's like 60 something counties in Florida, but only half of them accept the plan is found in half the counties.
Yeah, but also
They're
we
in-network.
found,
Right.
we found that not only the counties are off, but there are states in the United States of America that have 0
In-network,
in network.
right. So it doesn't just go by state. So what we found in the contract is that they're in and out of network. So they're broken down by in and out of network by county. So say Florida, we'll use Florida. So there's 67 counties in Florida. Out of the 67 counties in Florida, 34 are in network. Just gonna throw a number out there. So 34, it's
I'll
close.
get it for you. Give me a minute.
So 34 are in network, and then the other, whatever, it's too late for me, I'm too tired to do math. And the other remaining are out of network. So even though they say, you know, they'll pay the same amount in and out of network, you know, that's great, but there was other verbiage in the contract about seeing out of network doctors. So, you know, that's where you have to be careful with the prior authorizations.
Florida has 67 counties in the state and 32 of them
All right,
are listed.
okay, so I was off by 2.
No, that's good.
So
That's it.
Richard in Borough Park says, I have a concern, once the retiree passes, will the next of kin wife still be covered? You will probably be eligible for COBRA. I believe it's for 3 years, and then basically your health insurance dies with you. Meaning they would have access to COBRA, but they'd have to pay for it, but your health insurance dies with the retiree.
We, on the Aetna webinar, the Aetna uniform people who get COBRA for life, they will stay on COBRA for life. There was mention that the people who are on COBRA will be thrown into this Medicare Advantage plan like the rest of us. So, right.
And that should upset the uniforms because those are your widows. Which they didn't seem to care when we did that article last year about the widows when they were going to do the same shit.
Right.
That's just reprehensible. You guys are mentioning like these people, this Oliver guy, Steve Buscemi, any of them, if you guys know any of them, call them. I mean, call Michelle, she'll give you my phone number. Or message me, well, message Michelle.
Right.
Tina, when we're ready, we will be sending out a link to be able to do the homework assignment. So just hang tight. Collect the data. We'll be telling you what to do with it shortly. Jane Rose, give us your email address and Michelle's full name. So Michelle, you just email us at retirees@nycretirees.org. That's the easiest way to get us. So yes, as of now, we are all on standby as this new Aetna plan mentioned in the last homework. Yes, because you just need to do your homework. Keep doing the homework assignments because this is what's going to give us the data that we need to keep moving forward. OC wants to use that money for asylum seekers free college. I don't know what that means. I have GHI Medicare, but my drug plan is under my wife's prescription with the Rockland County. Do I lose this drug plan under the Medicare Advantage? Yes, I do believe you do.
Well, actually, that was the thing with Ralph. And he called and had to call like 3 times and he still couldn't get an answer. So
that's crazy.
Right.
Anyone that's private messaging me, so Josephine, she's saying she sent me a private message. I have to tell you, I cannot keep up with the messaging. So share the love and reach out to one of the other moderators or officers, and please don't get insulted. Today I have still 85 text messages on my phone. There's 216 emails on my phone. I haven't even got a chance to look at mostly social media or my messenger. So just be patient with us. We're trying to get to everything.
Right. And that was
Nicole,
like
what
last
have you done?
week.
Yeah, that was you too.
Well, that was like last week. I had over 600 emails and I felt terrible because it took me like 5 days to catch up.
See, Roberta, you're saying World Trade Center is a tertiary payer. So to find if there's a World Trade Center illness and get it certified, I need my health insurance first. That would make it different for World Trade Center, but I need to know, does your health care, you're not going to have a primary, secondary. Your primary was Medicare, your secondary was GHI. In this, it's Medicare. And so I need to be able to determine if the World Trade Center program will still cover you. Will that be a problem with Medicare? That's going to be the issue with Medicare Advantage. And CVS is not union? Is that true?
What do you mean?
CVS is not union, she said.
They're owned by Aetna.
That doesn't mean anything. Are they union?
Oh, I don't know if they're union. I don't think so.
I don't know.
You got me.
Yes, she said it's true. Look it up.
So Karen says, shouldn't Aetna advise us to whom we can go to at our choice of hospital who participates? I honestly don't know, Karen. I mean, they can tell you who you can go to, but you'd still need to check that out, because just like the last time we found out that they weren't telling us the truth. I'm not answering that question, Leon.
She asked.
He wanted to know if gender reassignment needs prior approval. Wise guy. Rusk Rehabilitation at NYU says they take the new plan. I called Columbia doctors at my Columbia Press Hospital. My doctor takes the Aetna PPO and City of New York. Many doctors in one of the two health systems where I live say they are in network. They aren't accepting new patients. The other system is not in network and not planning to be in network. Elga, in your situation, were either of those providers that you called on the Aetna tool? That's the other piece that we need. When you look them up on the tool on the Aetna site, did they show up? Because it's going to be important to show that Aetna is showing that that doctor is in network and your doctor said no. And that the doctor is in network according to Aetna and the others not taking new patients. And that's important to state too. Mayor Adams in the Daily News today said he wants New York City to be more religious. Maybe he believes in a religion that sends retirees to their early demise through crappy health care. I would tell him that Jesus took care of seniors, didn't toss them to the curb.
Brings to mind the adage that a society is judged by how it treats its elders.
No,
Yep.
that was Gandhi, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe it was Mahatma Gandhi.
So when I call my doctor's hospitals, do I use the entire name? Yes. City of New York, Aetna, Medicare Advantage, PPO, absolutely.
Yes.
I know you mentioned Stony Brook Hospital, but I missed it. So from what we're being told, Stony Brook is not in the network.
And that's what Mr. Mogul said.
If the hospital takes the plan, and I know that from that lady that contacted us. If the hospital takes the plan, how do you know if the anesthesiologist that takes the plan? Good
Well,
little question.
that's a good question. You have to call anesthesia.
There is none in my area. That's Chrissy.
Oh, I believe it.
So we should be on standby now until you tell us to switch your healthcare. We're not telling you to switch out. We're not telling you to stand by. We're not telling you to anything. We're telling you to do your homework and give us what we need to be able to fight this. That's really the best thing. And I don't want to keep using the words opting out, Laura. This is not opting out. They're giving you one plan. You're being forced out of your healthcare. You're being forced to forfeit your city plan if you have to stay on traditional Medicare. You are not opting out of anything because you're not willingly doing it. It would be definitely under protest and you're being forced to do it. Salute.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Melinda, we do not need pension books unless there's anything about health insurance, Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare, Medigap plan. That's all we need. I do not need pension information. I just lost our thing. My entire Facebook just shut down.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this Satanism by the city. What, Paul Schwid, what about Northwell? Paul, call Northwell. We don't do your homework. You have to do your own homework. If I drop out of the UFT, will I continue to receive my welfare fund benefits? Yes. The only one that showed up was the Aetna tool. The other showed up. The other showed it was not. I am screenshotting every search so it has a date timestamp. Good thing, Elga. That's great. United Food and Commercial Workers Union represents CVS workers all across the country. Thank you, Leon.
Well, that's interesting.
So I don't have any other questions in here unless I missed something.
Yes, Michael, they are offering the VIP option only if you're in the 8
counties of New York.
counties of New York. So
that's all I got.
So, of course, being in my position, I'm going to ask people to please send donations by any method. Zelle is easy, goes through right away, less work. And as you can imagine, we have bills to pay. Remember, we're all volunteers, but the lawyers are not volunteers.
and you know, my magic 8 ball has not been picking the lotto numbers. Very upset.
Yeah, so now we're looking to bring on someone to help us with our messaging so that it's takes some of that burden off of us and helps keep our messaging tight. So we have literally become like a full organization business. So it's crazy.
Run by people who don't
Get
use
paid.
the money that gets donated. All the donations go towards the cause. I don't work the hours that Mary Ann and Michelle do. I don't know when these two ladies sleep.
I'll sleep when I'm dead. It's okay.
That's
Yeah,
what I say.
yeah, with this, it'll be never mind. But so the money is not going to pay high salaries for any of us. It's going to pay for the lawyers and other professionals that we need to have to help us with the cause.
Yes, so, but again, thank you moderators for keeping calmness over the page. And Joe for the website and again, as I always say, without you guys out there and for giving us all the support and the donations and again, somebody out there, I actually emailed somebody because I thought it was an error. Remember, Marianne? They gave us
Was that real?
yes, it was real. It was $1,000 donation from somebody and
Thank you for that. If you're watching, that was very generous. If you
that was
donate
very generous.
$1,000.
I thought it was a typo and because sometimes it happens, some people got bigger fingers when they're typing stuff in. And I thought it was a typo and I asked and he said no. And I thought that was extremely generous. So thank you so much. That's greatly appreciated. And so again, without you guys, we wouldn't get this far. So,
There's another question in here that I want to address. It says from Larry, sorry, my iPad went nuts. I wrote this before. I read in an overview of the proposal Aetna plan, keeping your doctors, this statement, at the moment, we know 96% of doctors who take GHI senior care are already in Aetna's network or accept payment from Aetna. Then later they wrote at the end of March, doctors will get info on this PPO plan, Coney. Are the 96% really in the network, already in the network? And if we call our doctors now and they don't know this new Aetna plan, right, isn't that contradictory and confusing? Yes, and this is why they did this. So they said, you're throwing up your wall, they said that 88% of the doctors that retirees currently see accept the Aetna Medicare Advantage plan. Then they said another 10% of the doctors, or whatever it was, 6% of the doctors agreed to accept the plan for payment. And this is why it's important for you guys to make these calls to identify the doctors that are not taking the plan, who won't take new patients, or who are not in network and won't take it for payment, to debunk shit like that. And the only way we can do it is with your affidavits.
Yep.
Because we did this the last time. We proved that they were lying.
Yep. MAP 2.0.
App 2.0. There you go. So your address to send, please show us your address to send data. So just email it, Sharon. It's really the easiest thing to do. Otherwise, you've got to send someone to the PO box and it's just a pain in the butt. So if you would, please just scan it and email it to us. If you don't have a scanner, just bring it to like Staples or the UPS store with our email address and they could send it to us right from there.
Right. And then I'll pluck it off the, what do you call it? The email. I'm always saying, listen, I'm tired.
So I am not seeing any other questions that we missed. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. Like Michelle said, thanks for bearing with us and your support for our fight, the moderators, the administrators, and Joe and everybody. And we will be in touch with you next week. Please just pay attention to the board, because if I can get my acting gear this weekend, I will definitely be posting some email homework assignments for you to do this weekend for email, and starting Monday, phone calls and some other work to do. So that's going to be the story. And have a great weekend, guys, and we will see you Monday.
Yes, and do your homework.
Do your homework.
Night.
Ciao.